Hey guys, my name is CJ's Gaming and today I'm back with another video, and today I'm back with part 15 of my F1 2019 career mode here in Singapore with the Marina Bay Street Circuit. A track I am not looking forward to. The graphics are going to be naughty, but our car definitely won't be naughty around this track. It's so bad. Like this is definitely a chassis track, and we have no chassis. I think my foot has more chassis development than anybody what this car has. We've done 4 upgrades. Look at that. We're so far behind Toro Rosso Honda. Season 2, that's where we need to focus our car on. Like, massively. But Season 1, aerodynamics is a very big place to design our car for as well. After practice, we're going to get a pretty decent amount of resource points. About 300, 400. Either way. 346 in the middle. Moves up into 3,140 something resource points, which I still am not going to spend just yet. We need clarification on what is going to get changed for the season 2. But if I don't get told going into Russia, I'm just going to buy. I'm going to buy stuff. I don't care. It's like taking the mickey. Why would you tell us in Italy, and then not like? Why would you say, oh yeah, it might change? Why don't you just tell us it's going to change? God. Jesus, sorry about that. I don't know why I'm ranting so much about a stupid change. But let's go into qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix, where hopefully we don't qualify last, because that's definitely what's going to happen.
It's time for us to settle down and the drivers below to get fired up. Once again, welcome to Singapore as we get ready for the green light and the start of what should be a fantastic qualifying session. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction, and over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong, and that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
This is our first run in Q1. Going through the final couple of corners, we have the downforce now. So basically go through that nearly flat out after a little bit of dab on the brakes. We go P7 as it stands, P19 at the end of the session, and yeah, we're definitely not going. If we get through this, that's a miracle. Going into turn 1, cutting the curb a little bit there, and we're 2 attempts down already. Going through the third corner though, we are going to gain some time. I don't know what happened there through that corner. It must have been a really bad exit, because that's where we gained all our time. Now down this long straight, we're going to gain some time on the exits as well. Bit of lag, I don't know what's going on here. End of the first sector, we are just under a 10th up. I think we're half a 10th up, which is, this is not going to get us into Q2 whatsoever. We're currently a 10th up, missing the apex there. That does actually straighten out the corner a little bit more, so we're going to get a little bit more speed into this where the old Singapore sling used to be, where I used to love that corner. It's still actually really nice now. I actually quite like that bit. That's my favourite bit of the track. Am I the only one that thinks that every track has the iconic bit? Like every single track has an iconic corner. You get what I mean? Like, this is like Singapore's got the Singapore sling. Like Silverstone's got maggots and brackets. Canada's got the final chicane, the Wall of Champions, and that. Like, you got Parabolica in Italy, or Scari in Italy, you got the hairpin in Germany. Yeah, I don't know what I'm chatting, I'm just listing corners and tracks, but we've got 4 corners to go now, 3 now, we're only 3 attempts up, we've got 2 corners to go. We need to absolutely blow up this corner if we're going to get any chance of getting through, but we're currently P20, and we're up to the line. We're going to be starting the Singapore Grand Prix from last place. It's going to be last place for the Singapore Grand Prix. I knew I wasn't going to be getting through, but I didn't think I'd be starting last. George Russell's got through. What? How was he 1.5 seconds faster than me? But Once again, Lance Stroll's out, no surprise there. Kimi Raikkonen as well, Albon, and I can't remember, someone else was out, Magnussen I think. We do actually need to get a new rival before we go into the Singapore Grand Prix, but how's Russell got through? Like, that is diabolical. How have we been out-qualified by a teammate there? That is... wow. That is just wow. Bit of a shock, but can't really do anything about that. It's Singapore Grand Prix, and I'm not looking forward to this. This time next season, I want to get the chassis good enough to actually be a decent, have like decent pace around this track. We're going to select Alexander Albon as our new rival, just because like Toro Rosso are basically who we're fighting for. Well, fighting every single race, and I know we basically can beat them. But we are going to take a new power unit completely going into the Singapore Grand Prix, just so that from now on we don't have to take any penalties. But let's go into the race for the Singapore Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome one and all to the shining streets of Singapore. Can you believe we've been coming here for nearly a decade now? It feels like only yesterday that Felipe Massa was dragging his fuel hose down the pit lane in that eventful opening race, and in a Grand Prix won from pole position more often than not, will we see a new victor crowned today? It's a 3.1 mile lap here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit with 47% taken at full throttle. It's hot, humid and bumpy around the 13 lefts and the 10 rights of mostly slow corners, but we should see speeds of up to 200 miles per hour along the Raffles Boulevard. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's start with Racing Point. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Gasly, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Vettel. They've taken a grid penalty. Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Grosjean and Carlos Sainz. Weber, Norris, George Russell and Butler, Perez, Raikkonen, Alexander Albon and Kevin Magnussen, Stroll and Joker. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So here we are, sat on the grid ahead of the Singapore Grand Prix. It's going to be a two-sort of strategy, a mediums to hards. We did try and like mess about with the strategy and try and get a faster tyre using the soft tyres, but yeah, it was a bit slower than what it was like predicted already. So we just went with the default setup, as you can see there. But yeah, we are not expecting a good result here. We definitely did not have a very well. We have the worst chassis on the grid, so yeah, this is not going to be a good Grand Prix for either of the Williams. I don't think. George. I forgot where he's starting in the grid. He's just ahead of us actually, so he's not in the points yet. He's not starting in the points, so he might be able to, if there's any retirements, he might just be able to squeeze in if he gets some good overtakes in. If we get points, it's going to be very hard. Nearly into the back of a Stroll on the formation lap there, but yeah, points are going to be hard around this Grand Prix. This is basically going to be like a practice test just to see what's going on with the car and to prove how much we need to upgrade the chassis side of the car. So as we form up on the grid in last place, we've got Lance Stroll, who's going to be our first overtake, more than likely, well it has to be our first overtake kinda, if we're going to try and overtake at all in this Grand Prix. So we lined up on the grid ahead of the Singapore Grand Prix. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights before the start of the Singapore Grand Prix. Lights are now out and away we go. And we've had an awful start compared to the air, like normal there. And Albon's got mugged by Magnussen straight away, so he's already lost a position down to P18. We're going out the inside of Lance Stroll into turn 1. He's stuck behind one of the Alfa Romeos. We've lost the back end a little bit there, going a bit wide. But inside of turn 3, we now have Lance Stroll and finally get the position done. But at the end of the first sector, start of the second sector, we're going to go past Alexander Albon in the middle sector of this track. Still going side by side, heading up to the Singapore Sling where it used to be. Albon's got better traction than us, so he's going to be ahead going into the left-hander But he goes very wide. We're going to get it under and over on him. He's going to cut across us. Jesus Christ, Albin, come down. Jesus. And we've lost the position there. Just checking to see if we have any front wing damage. We're going to lunge up the inside into the hairpin. Bit of a risky move there. He could have turned it on us any moment, but fortunately he didn't. And we still got all our front wing. He's still fighting with us. We get like this is holding us up quite a lot. We should be fighting Raikkonen right now, who's being passed by Magnussen. But we're still side by side. We're going to lunge up his inside, going into the right hander, late on the brakes, taking out as much track as possible. We tried to turn in for the corner, but we just bulldozed our way through, and up into P18 we go. But look at the gap already formed by Raikkonen. On lap 7, and slash lap 8, a couple of cars in the pits. Gasly's one of them I saw. But yeah, look at the gap already. That's how fast the AI are compared to us. That's not the AI, that's just my car and me being slow. I'm not the fastest around Singapore. But Lance Stroll on lap 9 is going on the inside into left-hander. I'm not sure what corner that is. It's either 6 or 7 or 8, one of those. But we've held on to P15 as it stands. But lap 9, there's a little bit of a traffic jam started to form ahead. I don't know who's started this. I think it's Grosjean. He's caused a traffic jam, which has given us a chance to go up the inside into the hairpin on Kimi Raikkonen on the exit. He's going to have a better exit than us. Will we go to the inside to try and get the move done into the right-hander? Yes, we are under braking. He's defended it a little bit, squeezing us towards the apex, but we go and force him out wide, and we've got the position. We're up into P14 for the Singapore Grand Prix. A lap later, though, going into the end of the straight. Look at this carnage going like ahead. You've got Verstappen, Butler, Magnussen, Norris, and speaking of Magnussen, we're going up his inside into this right-hander. Jesus Christ, I just put him into the wall there. Sorry, Magnussen. I understood, and you just absolutely ended your race. Probably, if you had damage, I don't know if you did. But any lap 10, we're going to follow Norris into the pits for our first pit stop. Going very slowly. We was going very slowly there, making sure we didn't speed going into the pits. But hopefully we can get a good pit stop. We've dropped down to P16, and that's probably where we're going to come out for the Singapore Grand Prix, unless we get held up by any of the cars that we've overtaken. We're ready to go. Come on. Oh, one of the Haas drivers and the... Oh my god, we've been jumped by Raikkonen because we got held in the pits. God's sake. That is so annoying with having our pit lane, our pit box right at the end. That's the worst thing about Williams, apart from the car, obviously. That's so annoying. But it only took us until lap 13 to get some overtakes done. Magnussen's in the pits. But we're going to actually lunge up the inside of two cars then. Norris and Raikkonen. Verstappen's come out of the pits as well. He's joined his crew. Goes side by side with Albin into turn 3, giving him a bad exit. He's got on the hard tyres, and we're going to go round his outside into this right-hander, long sweeping right-hander before the long straight. And we managed to get the move done. No, we haven't. He's still there. He's going to be in like overtake mode. We've whacked up into overtake mode now with this Mercedes power unit, and look at that. We're back up into P14 going to this left-hander. He's gone late on the brakes though. We're just going to squeeze him out wide, and he's eventually given up the position there on lap 13. So that's a pretty good little battle with the Red Bull driver as we go up into P13 as Lance Stroll's now coming for his pit stop. And we've got George Russell just in front of us, who we need to overtake as a lap 15. That's probably what's going to happen here. We need to overtake and then get a pit stop ahead of the British driver. That is going to be a very big challenge, and it's going to be quite hard because we'll be up into P12 in this Singapore Grand Prix. Now Weber, as well as Perez and Gasly's in the pits, but we're going to get over. Gasly's going to come out in front of us definitely as we go side by side with his teammate into turn 1, just casually. But yeah, Gasly's now going to help us pull us along the straight by just giving them slipstream and a bit of DRS. But Charles Leclerc's now at the Singapore Grand Prix as we're coming into the pits. This is what the view from him, and that's how he got eliminated from this Grand Prix with an engine failure. But now it's time for our second pit stop here on lap 20, going on to lap 21, and we're going to come out at the point. This is where we're going to need to catch our teammate as fast as possible if we got any chance of beating him. He's already gone past us, so we're definitely a pit stop behind him as the other cars are coming in. The McLaren, I think that was, they're coming for a pit stop as well, so we're not going to be last leaving the pit, since we're actually going to be P18 / P17 as we haven't actually passed Charles Leclerc's dead car. I meant dead car. But we come out of the pits in P18, but this is us going past Charles Leclerc now, and yeah, we're up into P17 for this Singapore Grand Prix. It's going to take a couple more laps to catch some cars. Raikkonen's now into the pit, so we've got past the Finnish driver there, so we're up into P16. This is alright. It's alright. Lap 28 though, for some reason Bottas is going very slowly. I don't know why he was going slowly, but he must have had some problems or something, because we're now going to overtake him into this hairpin by the looks of it. Yes, we are, up the inside, diving up the inside, a very audacious move, but we've managed to get the move done, and we're up in P15. Now, lap 29, we managed to catch up to our old F2 rival, Devon Butler, and we're going to go and get the DRS onto lap 30. We've got 2 laps to overtake this guy, getting into P14. It looks like we're not going to be able to catch our teammates. He's gone already through turn 3. Devon's actually locked up massively there, going slowly, but at the end side of turn 3, we've gone very deep, pushing out the other Brit, the fellow Brit. We're pushing him very wide, and we've moved ourselves up into P14. But this is Lewis Hamilton, I'm pretty sure. Well, it is Lewis Hamilton winning the Singapore Grand Prix. Fireworks are going off. There you go, there's confirmation of Lewis Hamilton winning the Singapore Grand Prix. And yeah, we're going to come around the final couple of corners now. Also, with front wing damage, we're going to come home for a P14 in Singapore Grand Prix. Not exactly the best result. Not the worst either. It could be worse, it could be worse.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today.
But yeah, it could be a worse thing. We did actually beat our rival, so I mean we didn't beat our teammate, so that's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, we beat one of our rivals, so that's good. Was that Hulkenberg on the podium again? Did I see Hulkenberg on the podium? Gee, what's happened to Hulkenberg? He's definitely in his Weetabix, or his porridge, if he's on the podium once again. But yeah. That is going to be. Is he on the podium? Let's have a look at. Yes, he is. How is he managed to be on the podium there? Sebastian Vettel is also on the podium as Charles Leclerc got retired from that Singapore Grand Prix. But 3 races, 2 podiums for bloody Nico Hulkenberg. What's going on here? What's happened to Renault? Are doing really good this season by the looks of it. Getting 2 podiums. But yeah, that's a big shock there. Very big shock. Unfortunately, we didn't get any points, like I already said. But Singapore, I went into the weekend not thinking I was going to get points. George Russell actually got points. He got 1 point in that Grand Prix. So congratulations to him. Very well deserved. Pretty good drive from him. He overtook quite a lot of people. He started P13, finished 10th. So yeah, good race from George Russell there. That's not going to help us in the him in the Drivers' Championship. I don't think he's going to gain any positions. I don't think we will either. I'm not sure. But Bottas actually dropped down to P18. We've actually lost a position to Sergio Perez, or best of the rest drivers who aren't in the top 6 teams. It was top 3 teams. So we are also 6th place in the Constructors' Championship. So bit of a shock.
I'm sure
well, not a bit of a shock. Well, bit of a shock that we're in that position to start off with. But Claire now wants to speak to us. You and Devon Butler weren't far apart at the end of the race. How evenly matched are you? He's a skilled driver, but he doesn't have any my team or my car really. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? Yeah, I did. Our aero package is nothing else on track.
It's safe to
say they exceeded everyone's expectations, isn't it? F1 is a team sport, and we all put the maximum of effort into the car, and we left some bodywork on the track. Not going to answer that, Claire. You know I don't answer those questions, so
great. Well, that's everything.
Get some more, because I am not answering them anymore. But yeah. We are now drawing our championship, our rivalry with our teammate. Still, 9 points out of 30, with double the points of Albon in that separate rivalry. So yeah, that is us getting some more points to more rivalries and stuff done. That was basically the main focus of this race. Pretty decent amount of resource points. We're gonna get about 400, 300, 400. I'm gonna say, well, with that race bonus, we're gonna get 419. Moving us to 3,600, which is still saving for those that regulation change that is meant to be coming towards the end of the season, which is still not on this car, not being announced yet. So very frustrating, because I really want to be spending those resource points. And if you know me, I don't like to save like that much. I want to be upgrading this car a lot, because look, we're 2nd worst team, and by the end of this, I bet by the end of the season we're going to be the worst team. Just because we can't be, we're not allowed to upgrade the car, otherwise we're going to get the car parts taken off of us. But if we go into Russia, and the announcements haven't been made for the aerodynamics being changed, we're actually going to purchase some upgrades. Because look at that, Toro Rosso doing absolute gains on us there. So that is very frustrating. We was so far ahead. We was ahead of McLaren, I think, at one point. It was at least 3rd worst. not second worst. We was up a bit further. But yeah, if we like, it's not been announced, so we're actually going to go for this ultimate drag update. So that'll be on the car for Brazil if it doesn't fail, and we're also going to go with this major aerodynamic front downforce. So that's going to be fantastic. As we are actually going to go for an engine cover redistribution for weight. So that's all our resource points gone. We had nearly 3.7 thousand. We're now down to 38. So that's going to be our car upgrading quite a lot, going into Mexico and Brazil. Well, no, Mexico and then USA and then Brazil. So in 2 races time, we got 2 more races and then we go to Mexico. We might have some upgrades going there for aerodynamics or chassis. We have to wait and see in those videos. But anyway, that's been the end of the Singapore Grand Prix. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Next up is Russia. Hopefully we can have a good result there because I'm quite good there. But anyway, I'll be Just Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.